welcome back to my channel. So I recently got a brand new tattoo. It's kind of on my elbow. As you can see, there's a little bit here. It doesn't have anything. Not sure what's gonna go there. But it is currently in the healing process. At the time of filming, this isn't even a week old yet, so it is definitely healing. I don't know if you can actually see it on camera, but it is very flaky right now. And actually not itchy, just hurts because of placement. But that got me thinking about something. Healing a tattoo. I've talked about healing tattoos before on this channel. Now, usually when I heal a tattoo, I use saniderm. If you don't know what saniderm is, I do have a video all about that as well. Saniderm is great. It's kind of like a set it and forget it type of healing. You put a bandage on it, it stays on there for several days, then you take it off. Like speeds up the healing process. It's great, I love it. But saniderm can't always be used. And so unfortunately for this tattoo, I didn't get saniderm, and I think it's because of the placement, because it is on a joint. Saniderm there just, I don't think it would work very well. You know, with my constant movement, I don't think it would work. So I had to heal it the old-fashioned way. But that got me thinking about something. Anyone else hear people say like, oh, I like to dry heal my tattoo, or I like to wet heal my tattoo? And then there's me over there going like, I like saniderm. So I've heard people say before that their preferred method is dry healing, their preferred method is wet healing. And I'm sitting there going like, what are those methods? So I looked into it. I was like, I need to know what the difference between dry healing and wet healing are when it comes to tattoos. And let me tell you, there's not much of a difference. But there is enough of a difference that I decided to make a video on it in case anyone else out there is like, So that is what today's video is. I'm not going to be touching on saniderm as much as I love it. We're only going to be discussing dry healing a tattoo and wet healing a tattoo. So let's start with dry healing a tattoo. What exactly does it mean to dry heal your tattoo? It's basically how it sounds. You keep the tattoo dry. This is not to say that you're not gonna do aftercare of any kind. You're still gonna wash it and make sure that it's clean, but the main difference is you're not going to apply moisturizer or ointment. So if you go to a tattoo artist, you may get like instructions that'll say like, clean the area 2 to 3 times a day, maybe more, kind of depends on the area. And then it'll say, put an ointment, put a moisturizer. Tattoo artists all have their preference. I personally have found that ointments are not my favorite thing, but I know plenty of people who do like them. However, you will find that some people don't like moisturizers or don't like to put ointments on it. So that is what the main difference is to dry heal a tattoo, don't moisturize it. You just clean it. So it's kind of like you're letting it heal in the open air. You know, when you moisturize something, it puts the little protective covering over it. When you dry heal a tattoo, you're gonna wash it, you're gonna cleanse it, you're gonna dry it, you know, pat it dry with like a paper towel, but then that's it. At that point, it's just healing in the open air. Kind of like air drying, if you will. So the main reason why people tend to go for the dry healing route is because it does cut down on potential bacteria forming on the tattoo. It avoids the irritants that sometimes moisturizers give. Now, when you use a moisturizer on a brand new tattoo, you're pretty much told to do something that's fragrance-free, something that's very gentle. There are plenty out there, you just gotta find the right one, but there still can be some irritants in the moisturizer that would not only irritate your skin, but end up irritating the tattoo. That's one reason why a lot of people go for the dry healing route, is to avoid the irritants altogether. I mean, the same kind of goes for cleaning your tattoo. You need to find something that's fragrance-free and gentle for a wash. Same for moisturizer, but for some reason, moisturizers sometimes have more irritants in them. Another reason why a lot of people like the dry healing method is because it's left. It's left on its own. It's not wrapped or anything like that. So it allows the tattoo to breathe. It allows it to heal a little bit better. It's not like suffocating inside of a wrap of any kind. Again, back to the air drying bit. It's just out there. But with every great sounding thing, there's gonna be some drawbacks. And the main one for dry healing is that you are setting yourself up for an even itchier experience. Now, if you've ever had a tattoo before, you know when it gets to this stage where it's flaking, you know it's itchy, very itchy, and you can't scratch it. You're not supposed to. Don't ever scratch a brand new tattoo, especially when it feels itchy like this. Don't do it. You could permanently damage the tattoo. But when you're not putting moisturizer of any kind on it, it could leave you open for even more itchiness. Now, you can combat that just, you know, tapping it or something. I personally have not been tapping this one just because this one is sore, but it is gonna end up feeling even more itchy and even more dry. That's the only real drawback that I was able to gather from research. There might be some other ones, but the big one is that if because you're not using moisturizer or ointment of any kind, it's gonna be even more itchy and even more dry than it normally is right here. So now that we know a little bit about dry healing, let's discuss wet healing. So what exactly does it mean to wet heal a tattoo? Well, it's pretty much the same thing as dry healing it, except for you're using moisturizer and ointment. But with wet healing, this is a little bit of a difference. And that difference is you're keeping it wet. I'm not gonna say the M word, but you're keeping it damp for like the first few days after you get it done. Like you're not allowing it to dry at all. So how exactly do you wet heal a tattoo? Again, you're gonna wash it, you're gonna clean it like you would dry healing it, anything like that. You're gonna wash it with a gentle soap, gonna rinse it, gonna pat it dry. You'll then apply moisturizer or ointment of some kind, and then you'll wrap it. And what do I mean by wrap it? You'll wrap it with something like cling wrap. So you'll wash it, you'll dry it, you'll moisturize it, and as soon as you moisturize it, you wrap it up. You'll change the wrap roughly like 2 to 3 times a day, depending on the location of the tattoo and how much the wrap has moved. You'll go through the whole process. Clean it, dry it, moisturize it, wrap it. You'll just keep going through that for the first few days. So then after a few days, once you notice that the tattoo gets to this lovely flaking stage, you'll stop wrapping it. You'll still clean it, dry it, and moisturize it, but you will no longer include the wrap in it. So something to keep in mind about wet healing is that it is a little bit riskier than dry healing in the sense that when you keep something damp or wet, it's exposing you to like bacteria breeding grounds. Bacteria thrives, they love these damp areas. So when you're putting your moisturizer, your ointment on your tattoo and then wrapping it, it's like sealing in any potential bacteria that could have been in proximity to your tattoo. It'll like expand, it'll grow, and that could be a recipe for disaster. So when is a good time to wet heal? I found this out in my research. Great time to try out wet healing for a tattoo is when you have a tattoo on a joint. So anytime you have a tattoo on a joint, so where it's got a lot of movement, so like knees, wrists, fingers, ankles, anything like that, when it's in constant motion, this can cause little abrasions to your tattoo because it's essentially like opening the wound back up. Luckily, I don't have anything really right on the joint. I have a little leaf on the side of it, but nothing like directly on the joint. So the main time a lot of people use the wet healing method is in those areas when you have a tattoo on an area that experiences a lot of movement. Like your forearm, I mean, obviously your forearm moves, but it's not bending. So a lot of people tend to use the wet healing method for those specific tattoos. So like that leaves me sitting there. I don't know about anyone else, but when I heal a tattoo, I cleanse it, I dry it, I put moisturizer on it, and for like the first day that I have a tattoo, mostly because it depends on the time of year, I don't want my tattoo to get stuck to something, I will put cling wrap around it. Like especially at night when I go to bed, I'll wrap it up just that first night, just so it has time to like the swelling go down, like redness to kind of go away, and just to have it for that first night so that nothing touches it. But then after that point, I don't really use it. So I don't know about y'all. I feel like I'm doing like a mixture of both dry healing and wet healing. This is why I like saniderm, because you don't have to think about it. But there are some things that you need to remember when deciding what method to go about to heal your tattoo. The first thing you need to remember is to use fragrance-free, gentle cleansers and moisturizers. My personal favorite cleanser for a tattoo is Dr. Bronner's. It is the Baby Unscented soap. I absolutely love this. It's so nice. I know a lot of tattoo artists who use this to clean tattoos. So make sure that you're using something that is unscented and gentle on your tattoo. Same goes for lotion, moisturizer, ointment, anything like that. Make sure that you are using something that is fragrance-free, something that is gentle. My preferred one has always been Lubriderm. So I'm still on the market for a cruelty-free product because Lubriderm is not one that I have picked up recently that I'll probably be using once the tattoo is healed, because I'm not entirely sure if it's good for a healing one, is this one from Burt's Bees. It is sensitive, it is fragrance free, but it does have aloe vera and shea butter in it. Shea butter is fine for a healing tattoo. However, aloe vera, I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, it's fine. And then some people are like, no, it's not. So this is a good one for once the tattoo is healed and you want to keep your tattoos looking nice, vibrant, and fresh. But for the healing process, definitely look for anything that is fragrance free, gentle, it's got nothing in it other than the moisturizing capability. Another thing, avoid tight clothing while your tattoo is healing, because that cuts down on friction that may rub up against your tattoo. So like right now I have a very lightweight top on. It doesn't even come down to the tattoo. It's like at the very top of it. So it's not gonna rub on it. So make sure that you're wearing clothing that is not gonna be right up against it, and every time you move, it's gonna rub on it, because that can also harm your tattoo. As I mentioned earlier, scratching an itchy tattoo can be potentially harmful. So make sure that if it is super itchy, don't itch it. Good method is to tap it. Tapping it helps better, doesn't harm it like scratching it would. I know it's hard and you want to itch it. And at the end of the day, listen to the advice of your tattoo artist. Again, I say this in my piercing videos, I say it in my tattoo videos. I am an enthusiast. I am not a professional. I'm just someone that's done a lot of research. So at the end of the day, listen to the advice of your tattoo artist. They are going to be able to point you in the correct direction of what you should do to care for your tattoo. Let me know in the comments below what team you're on. Are you team dry healing or wet healing? Or if you're like me and just prefer saniderm, because then you don't have to think about it. Let me know in the comments below what you have had the best luck with. What is your preferred method? If you've only tried one method, you're like me and you're not entirely sure what your method is when you do it this way without saniderm, because it's just like kind of a mixture of dry and wet, but not really. So let me know your preferred method of healing a tattoo. Special thank you to my patrons. You can help support the channel on Patreon while having access to videos early, viewing patron-only content, and more. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Go on down there, hit that subscribe button. Also be sure to hit that notification bell so YouTube will let you know when I upload next. But until next time, bye all!